show tonight, man. The show is pretty loaded. Tonight. We have myself and Hugh, of course. We're going to be, we got a lot to talk about, man. We talking Game 7 World Series. We talking college football. Talking NBA, NFL. We loaded tonight, man. You ready, Hugh?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. For everybody that I told I was going Facebook Live with, I'm going to go Facebook Live probably at 7:30. I'm not doing it now because I'm not going to be doing too much talking. We actually have a special guest here tonight. I kind of admire him. He's a young kid, but he knows his stuff, man. He's kind of a baseball wizard. That's what I call him when I read his stats and stuff. But I'm about to put him on to the show. He's going to be talking with Hugh about this Game 7 of the World Series. I know baseball, but I don't know a lot of baseball. But I want everybody to welcome James to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Well, we just gonna we gonna get into it, man. Game 7 World Series, Cubs, Indians, in Cleveland. I want you guys thoughts. I'm gonna start off with our special guest today, James. I'm gonna throw some questions out there to you guys, so we can get as much information as we can. Who you think celebrating tonight and why?
I've said Cleveland in 7 since the beginning of the World Series, and I'm sticking to my prediction. They have the ace and future Cy Young winner, well, second 2-time, Corey Kluber on the mound for them, a healthy, not rested, Andrew Miller, Shaw, and Cody Allen. Well, Chicago has the ERA leader in Kyle Hendricks. This is the guy you want up. But is he going to crumble under the pressure? Then you have to take into consideration that Aroldis Chapman tweaked his knee last night, is not very well rested, and it hiccups in the postseason a lot, as we've seen in the CS, the DS, and his days in Cincinnati.
Okay. Same question to you.
I like this kid already, man. I definitely felt the same way. I was hurt that Cleveland gave up the 3-1 lead. But as you can see, I believe more than anything, Chicago was a little desperate when they put Aroldis Chapman in, and he pitched more innings than what he's supposed to. And now I don't think he's well rested. I love Hendricks, but I don't think he had as much rest as Corey Kluber and Andrew Miller. Plus, I'm a little biased on this game. It sucks, because the Cubs had like 108 years of a drought of winning the championship. And Cleveland hasn't won one since 1948, but the difference is now, like you said, I believe Cleveland's more healthy. If they wasn't as healthy, they definitely have a better bullpen right now. So I'd really be shocked to have it in Cleveland and Cleveland to lose. And I think that it's good, too, to put a little heat under the Detroit Tigers, because it's like two teams won World Series within our division, so that'll put a little fire under us. So, yeah, I'm with him. I'm going with the actual Cleveland Indians. And
may I just say that in 1995, my favorite player of all time shut them out in Cleveland to win it.
Who is that? What player is that?
Tom Glavine of the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, Tom Glavine. That's one of my favorite pitchers, too. That's when I was kind of watching baseball back in the day when they had that outstanding pitching lineup. They had Smokes, Glavine, Maddox. They just, talk about aces, boy.
Too. But I think we're going to see a long game. It's going to be a pitcher's duel from the start, and I have Cleveland walking it off of Aroldis Chapman.
I hope it be a man Kipnis, too.
Yeah, I have Cleveland with the walk-off.
See, I think, well, like I said, I haven't been following as much, but from what I have been following since I think game one was kind of close. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I think game one was close.
Game one, Cleveland blew out Chicago. Game two, Chicago blew them out. And then the rest of the way, it's been really close, except for last night.
Yeah. They sent the message that first game. Yeah, that was the only blowouts was game 1 and 6. But I seen that they were actually trying to come back too yesterday. It was just a few hiccups, I believe, in that Cleveland game. But they were trying to make the game interesting at one point. And that's why I think they kept in Aroldis Chapman. And that's what I believe is going to be the X factor too, what he was explaining, because this don't really feel like they're well rested. And I know Andrew Miller ain't pitched in a while, and they definitely ready to go. And I don't know if a lot of people haven't heard or not, but my man's Corey Kluber is called the Cubs killer, and he's the one who's been shutting their lineup down, and he's the last person up there now. And I think he's about to shut the door on any hopes of the Cubs. So they probably have to wait another 109 years now to try to win the World Series.
That'd be cool. But
go ahead, Jim.
This is it. Joe Madden has a history of overusing the guys he wants to use most, as we saw in 2008 with my team, Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I mean, of course, he should have managed it like he did this year, because the weather screwed Tampa Bay out of that series, but that's a different story for a different day.
That sucks. I agree with you.
Tampa Bay had the better team that year. It's just they weren't prepared for that weather condition.
That snow. It's snow. How many days is Philly? Like 2-3 days?
Yes.
It's been postponed, and it was bad.
But Madden didn't show enough trust in Montgomery last night or any of these guys. And that's one thing Francona does really well. He'll make you feel like he trusts you even when he takes you out after 1 out or 2 outs or whatever the case may be. And every guy on that staff trusts Francona and plays better because of Francona. These guys don't play better because of Joe Madden. And I love Joe Madden. So I'm not saying this to bash him or the Cubs or anything, but Cleveland just seems to play better because Francona lights a fire inside of them. Something Joe Madden does not do with the Cubs.
I love Tito as well. I'm a huge Tito fan because of the Boston Red Sox days. I
can't stand the Red Sox, but I love Francona.
I have a quick question right there. I saw a couple people complaining last night. James just hit on it, though, what I was going to ask. But it was a couple people on Facebook complaining about Madden bringing in Chapman or whatever. Why do you guys think he did that? Like why? And James, you said that he's unavailable for this game. Like why is that?
He's not unavailable, but he's not available. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not going to be Aroldis Chapman because he's overworked more than he's ever had in his career. And he's not rested. He's pitched, 60-something pitches in the last 3 days, and he's a one-inning guy. It's like, and that's why I think Andrew Miller is the better reliever because he's a former starter from Detroit and Miami. He can go 6-7 innings if you need him to. Aroldis Chapman can't do that, and I think Andrew Miller offers a lot more. But here's the thing. Now, and people are complaining because Madden's overworked Chapman. It shows a lack of trust in his other guys. Now he's not even going to use that bullpen. He's going to use Lester and Lackey and all hands on deck, which is smart when you think about it. But when all these guys are free agents, they're not going to want to resign because the club has no faith in them. They're going to go somewhere where they're wanted, where they're used. And I think it overall hurts the team morale more than anything because now you have people realizing they're not trusted and that they're not going to be used. And then when Chapman gets walked off or Lester or Lackey or Arrieta, whoever it may be, then that's bad for the team itself, the clubhouse. I just think all in all, it was a bad move, especially when you take into consideration Chapman's your wild card. He's your X factor. He's the guy you need healthy, ready to go whenever you need him. He did not need him. He had a 7-run lead.
Right,
and you bring in the closer?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a stupid move.
And they teed off on him, too, man. They was teeing off on him yesterday when he was in there. And you could tell that was signs of fatigue. I just don't really think that they do a good job. And like you said, Joe, man, he overworked a lot of those guys, man. And it sucks because now when you look at it, he got a lot of his starting pitchers pitching tonight. And I don't think that he has that faith in his bullpen like he should. You know, Tito ain't going to change his mind on anything. It might be one switch up or another, but he's going to stay to his bases. And that's what makes him such a dangerous coach. He don't panic. He stick to what his plan is, and he's not trying to maneuver and put players in positions that make them uncomfortable right now. I'm not saying that they're not uncomfortable or whatnot, because it's the World Series and you need to be prepared for anything, but it's just he's overworking his guys, and it's not the faith in his bullpen that I feel like he should have, except for overworking his starting pitching, and he definitely overworked his closer, Chapman.
And I think that's where Tito Francona is going to do a lot better, and that's ultimately going to be what wins the game. Terry Francona, the only Cleveland starter you'll see coming out of the bullpen tonight, I guarantee you, is Danny Salazar. And that's solely because of his injury later on in the season that moved him to the bullpen. That by this point in time, he was not ready to start, but he's a great arm, your second starter, coming out of on relief, and Game 7 when you need him most. Especially when
that's definitely going to help them, too, I believe. I just think that it's going to be a really interesting game. And like you said, it's not going to be a game where it's going to be a blowout. If it is, James, I'd really be shocked. I don't think it's going to be that situation. It's going to be a close one, and I think one hiccup's going to cost one of the teams a game. But I just think because them overusing their pitching personnel with the Cubs, that this is going to be an issue in this Game 7.
It will be, and there's no way around that now that you've used Chapman every game of this ball series, and you're overworking him way too much. You don't want to bring Arrieta in. I personally think Jake Arrieta is the most overrated pitcher in baseball. But do you risk bringing in $1 million arm on no rest who just won the Cy Young last season to blow out his arm just to win a championship? Or do you risk bringing in a $3 million arm and John Lester on 1 day's rest with just to win a championship? I don't think they really should. You have to have more faith in your bullpen.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about the skeletons in the closet right quick, though. To things we ain't discussed yet, and I think it's pretty interesting in this whole series as well. Theo Epstein, you know, he was in Boston, helped them win their championships. He had Tito and Coco Chris on his team, which are now with Cleveland. Don't you think that they want to kind of stick it to one another too, man? Because it's cool to see that too, because how Joe Madden said, you know what, I'm going to bring in my boy. I'm going to bring in some of my old personnel, just like how Tito brought in Coco Chris. Because, yeah, I love a lot of the guys who got picked up from their teams and got this opportunity as well. Because Ben Zobrist is a hell of a player that a lot of people don't really talk about as well. That was with Tampa, who got brought over to the Cubs. Yeah.
Ben Zobrist, when I first started watching baseball, and keep in mind, I'm from Tampa, he was my first favorite player. Like, I love Ben Zobrist. So I'm happy to see him getting the contract he is and the success he is. And I think you're 100% right. I think it's really cool to see Joe Madden bringing in Hamill, Zobrist, because Hamill was a Ray, and Francona bringing in Coco Crisp and Andrew Miller. And I agree with you about Theo to an extent. he wants to stick it to Francona as like a friend type thing. But here's the thing about Theo. Everybody's calling him now, if he breaks the curse, the greatest GM in baseball. But he isn't the Cubs GM. It's starting to bug me, honestly.
I do like the fact that wherever he go makes teams better, though. You got to agree with that. You know, he basically, wherever he go, he changed that franchise around. Because at the time, too, don't get me wrong, I feel like the Cubs have a lot of talent. And when you're a bad team for so long, your talent is going to be better. You're going to get a lot of first-rounders. And they seem like in the last 3-4 years, you start to see them and like, hey, man, watch out for the Cubs. They're starting to improve. And just from the right coaching personnel and Joe Madden and them getting Theo Epstein, it just seems like that kind of changed everything. And it definitely helped with their talent around them, too, as well. They got the right talent in the right places now.
I agree with you because the entire Cubs roster is either genius free agency signings that the only one that's overpaid is Hayward, but he's, as we've seen in the past few games,
I agree.
He saved those last 2 games. No matter how much you want to bash him for his bat, if you take his defense out of those last 2 games, they're lost. And because he saved the bases loaded hit from Lonnie Chisenhall, I believe it was. The rest of the roster is first-round draft picks or trades that sent someone big like Carlos Zambrano over for a bucket of prospects. And it was really smart on Epstein's side of things. And he reminds me of Connie Mack. Connie Mack of the Philadelphia Athletics basically took a team that was the Cubs and completely made them perennial winners for years to come.
Hold on. Did he just say the Philadelphia Athletics? He get real. He get real stories on his mouth, man. Oh my goodness. All right, go ahead, James.
Now, Connie Mack is much better of an executive than Theo ever was. And that's not a bash on Theo because I think Connie Mack's the greatest baseball executive of all time. But the things Connie Mack did with the A's and the, not the Pirates because he played for them. Yeah, the Pirates. And the things he just did for those 2 franchises, he was with the A's for 50 years and has the most managerial wins and is considered one of the greatest owners of all time after being a manager for them. He was a manager, he was the owner, he was the GM, he did everything for them and just completely changed the A's franchise forever. And I think Theo is up there with Connie Mack because Theo as a GM completely turned around Boston, perennial losers with Hall of Fame talent but could never win. This was a team that had Fisk, Rice, and Yastrzemski on one team and couldn't win. But he took a team with a curse and made them winners. Now he's going to Chicago and doing the same exact thing in a different position. So I think on some level...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think the curve's going to be lifted in Chicago. That's all I was going to say. You continue.
But here's the thing. I don't think it is either. But you have to keep in mind, their contention window is still like 10 more years.
Man, they have so much opportunity. And those dudes are so young, man. You look at those guys on that roster, man. You can even look at Hayward, man. He's still young, man. Not most of these guys are in their primes, you know. You have guys that's probably a little older or up in age, like the Ben Zobrist and David Ross. Man, that guy is old as dirt. But I still feel like that team, besides those guys, are still young, man. Like you said, they're built for the long run. Right now, Cleveland, they might have a couple more, like 3 to 4 year gap I don't think it'll be like a 10-year gap versus the Cubs, man, because they put that team together, man, and I think they open up that bank book too to get the players that they want. And Cleveland did it. What makes them so great of a team right now? They don't got a really big bank, you know. Their checkbook's not that big. They just get players who are smart and good for the game, and players who play the game. And like you said, they go all out for Tito. And you see that each and every game they play, and that's what makes Cleveland such a dangerous team.
And I think if Cleveland wants this ring, which I'm sure every player in that roster does, it is essential that they win this year. Because Mike Napoli, Carlos Carrasco, Danny Salazar, all of these big-name guys that got them there are having career years. They're not going to have career years every year. So I don't foresee them having another monster mega season like this year with how good the Tigers could be next year, especially with Justin Verlander quietly putting up the best season for a pitcher this season. I think Kansas City's going to be back in contention next year. So if they want to win, they have to win now. And
I think that'll convince a lot of them players, too, to stay and try to, you know, repeat and, you know, at least get an extension to where they'll be contenders.
And you mentioned the youngness of the Cubs. Like, you're right. Like, Anthony Rizzo, who's my favorite first baseman right now, only 27 years old. Chris Bryant's, 24? Javi Baez. Yep. They're going to lose Arrieta next season. And I think overall that could honestly help the team a lot more. Because I'm not a big fan of Arrieta. I think he's the most overrated pitcher in baseball. And once you lose him, you can trade. You can upgrade from there. Free agency. Yeah. You have that hole to where you just upgrade the hole. And David Ross is up there in age, but he's still vital to that team because Lester's about to win the Cy Young, or at least I think he should. And the issue with John Lester is he can't pick anybody else. No matter how old David Ross gets, he completes John Lester because he has a cannon of an arm. And he will gun.
They don't respect him. They do not respect him. I've noticed that. Did you notice that they do not respect him when it's like base business like Lindor or Roger Davis? They would look at him and when he fake like he was going to throw the ball to first base, they don't even budge because they like, okay, whatever. And then when he try to pitch, they off to the base. It's still the second base. And that's one problem with him, I believe.
And I think that John Lester needs to win the Cy Young this year because no matter how good of a career he has, I think this is the last shot at the Cy for him. Because once he loses his personal catcher, Contreras can't pick anyone off.
No.
Montero can't pick anyone off. So once he loses it, he's one of the most incomplete pitchers in the game. And a lot more runs are going to score. A lot more stolen bases are going to happen off of him. And that's going to screw him over in the long run. Because John Lester,
he definitely needs that.
Yeah, he needs David Ross. And that's why they kept him in Boston for so long. And that's why Chicago picked him up after Lester had a crappy season and Oakland even as their ace. And I think I like John Lester, but that's the main issue with him as a pitcher. Your ace needs to be able to pick someone off. So without him having someone like Ross, that's not going to be good for the team as a whole.
And it's against the wrong team, too, man, because those guys steal bases like crazy.
So I foresee them signing someone like Matt Wieters or someone, though they don't need a catcher and they have a rookie sensation, they need someone who can pick off a runner, or else your ace is screwed next season, and that's not good for the team. And I think Theo knows that because he did the same thing in Boston for John Lester.
I would love to see Yadier go over there, but I know that would never happen. The St. Louis Cardinals would not have that, ever.
I think they're trading Yadier to a team that has the prospects sometime in the near future.
Yeah, because I know he's worth a lot of money right now. You know, the Cardinals is one of those small market teams who can't really afford that. That's why we seen Albert get shipped to Los Angeles. You know, after his years with the Cardinals, he hasn't really did anything after that. But I think it was a good move on them, too, you know, to move on because a lot of the big market teams can afford it, let them deal with it. They build theirs off the personnel, and I feel like that's right now what Cleveland's doing. And this is just really interesting to see a team with a nice bank. It's got a lot of first-round draft picks and a team who's built right now through Tito, and just they got some first-round picks, too, that's excellent. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like they're more of a low-money market team. And for them to be in it, man, that's incredible.
They had the worst home attendance in baseball this season. So, yeah, they're a small market team. They don't get a lot of funds from the fans or any of that stuff. Like, when you play in a big market like Chicago or LA or New York, whether you're the Mets or the Yankees or the Angels or the Dodgers, you're going to get a lot more money than most teams. And that's just how it is. And I think on some levels, that's why people think there should be a salary cap. But to me,
I definitely agree.
I think the salary cap would help, but I'd also think it'd take a lot of interest out of hot stove during the off season. And that's one of the things that keeps me involved until pitchers and catchers report. You know what I'm saying?
Love hot stove, man. And the winter meetings, man, with all these trades and all these big names go to other teams. I agree with you. That would hurt that, man. I wouldn't even watch it anymore if that happened. So, yeah, I'm a little afraid on that one. I have to probably back off of what I just said right there because I think I wouldn't know what to do without hot stove. That holds me over before they really start the training again, like you said, with the, you know, pitchers and catchers.
I agree. Speaking of trades, trade just happened. Clubs have yet to confirm. John Gray of the Cincinnati Reds. Wait, did I say John Gray? No, I'm thinking of John Lamb of the Cincinnati Reds heading to Tampa Bay and for cash considerations. Why did I say John Gray? He plays for the Rockies.
Man, they ain't holding us up. They already making moves, man. But I think that's what keeps baseball so hot, too. Like you said, the MVPs don't come out to the end of the season and the Cy Young and the different things as far as the managers of the year. That kind of helps spice up the baseball season, man. But definitely interested in this game, too, because I know it's really going to be one of those nail-biter games that at the end of the game, I think it's going to, like you said, come down to pitching. But it's going to come down to some of these bats, too, man. And I'm just hoping my boy Jason Kipnis have a big night.
So, fellas, I want to get to some more sports talk. But
okay.
Lastly, I want to ask you guys final thoughts on World Series and give me your score predictions.
Okay.
I have the Indians winning it 4-2 off of a walk-off in the ninth with a runner on base. I don't know who I have. I'm going to go with my man Mike Napoli. It just seems like everything this team does offensively, that acquirement of Napoli last season at the deadline was huge because it completely changed the clubhouse and how this offense has performed, and he's the main reason they're here.
Hugh?
I'm going to go around that line, but I'm not sure. I would love to see it be a walk-off. I know it's going to be a close one, 5-4, and I'm going with the Cleveland Indians, but what I think is going to happen is there's going to be a hit. I believe it's going to be a walk-off base hit by Jason Kipnis.
Kipnis grew up in Chicago, and it's interesting to see that he's a Gold Glove defender all season until he's playing his team in the World Series. And
that'd
suddenly,
be a spit in the face if he can get that hit.
yeah. And I think it'd be cool to see a childhood, like a home, like, that's a childhood team. I think it'd be cool to see him, like, extend the curse.
Oh, man, I hate him for life, man. That dude wouldn't even be welcome back in Chicago. You and I know that. I will get a new location. I hope he don't got a home over there.
I mean, he's going back to Chicago later this month for Thanksgiving anyway.
Oh, no, man. They probably poisoned his food if they do pull off the win tonight.
Yeah, right.
Hey, fellas, I appreciate the baseball World Series talk, Jameis. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's totally up to you, man.
All day, Jameis.
If you want to hang around with us, I don't know if you watch college football or whatever, or
go Noles.
Oh goodness. We talking basketball, NFL, whatever. So if you want to hang around, man, you more than happy. You know what I'm saying? We'll be more than happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm gonna go get ready for the Game 7 because it's gonna be lit.
Yeah, come on, yeah. All right, James.
Anytime y'all want me, I'm glad to be on here.
All right, man. We appreciate it. I'll call on you.
Anytime.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
All right. All right. Man, y'all was covering a lot, man.
Yeah, I had fun with that guy, man. He was real cool, man. It's good for him to be so young to have that knowledge, though, man. That means he had people around him basically telling him, like, hey, man, they taught him the right way, because at one point I was just stuck on football and basketball, and my dad had to teach me and show me certain things that made me appreciate baseball, and that's why I'm more in depth to it now.
Right. You know, the kid ain't nothing but about 14, 15 years old, man.
That makes it even more stunning.
Right. Man, I see his posts a lot, and I'll be like, man, this kid just knows his stuff, the way he just break everything down. And I was thinking about it, and I said, man, I really need somebody to talk baseball. Because, it's Game 7 of the World Series, so I'm like, we got to cover something. And I said, I'm not, fully equipped to do it, and I wasn't about to sit here and fake it. So I'm like, man, let me see if this kid is available. So I'm glad we covered the World Series. I want to go ahead and get into college football, man. So I'm about to go Facebook Live right now, and I'm off and running. What's up, everybody? This is Beyond the Bleachers. I'm coming on late because we was talking baseball, and I was going to be quiet for most of the time because I don't really know my baseball that much. So I was going to be quiet. So I was, it would have been a bad idea for me to just say, hey, let me go Facebook Live, and y'all just look at me quiet. So now we can talk about some exciting sports.
Come on, man. Come on.
We're going to talk about some more exciting sports, man. I wanted to, we're going to be covering a couple things tonight. We're going to be covering the college football season. Well, so far, the rankings just came out yesterday. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the NBA, NFL, stuff like that, trades, movements, all that stuff. So let's get it going, Hugh. Well, what's your
No doubt.
what's your initial the college football playoff rankings, man? Because I mean, I'll give my thoughts in a minute. I'll give my thoughts in a second, but I just want you to have the floor right now. And what's your thoughts on it?
Thought some of the people was ranked too high with losing records, man, and I thought that it was very disrespectful for some of the teams, man. You know, I seen it and I looked at it and I was like, come on, man, y'all could do better than that. We kind of figured Alabama would be on top. I was disappointed that they didn't have Michigan as 2. Then, you know, they had Clemson. So a lot of the stuff I saw, I was like, man, that's kind of BS, man. You know, it should be Bama, Michigan, Clemson. And then, you know, I didn't see, I've noticed, too, on there, when I looked at there, too, it was a lower seed for Washington, man. I'm like, well, damn, what happened with Washington and why are they so low when they won all their games? And it was other teams that lost, but still was higher than them. So that kind of disappointed me as well, you know. But Texas A&M, that's what was the 14. And then you got Washington. I'm like, come on, man. How is that even the case when Washington hasn't lost the game? I look at it like maybe they feel like it's just the pack. But still, man, come on, man. They can't justify that when Texas got a loss on their record.
That caught me off guard because I knew Michigan was going to be in the 2-3 range, and if I want to say Nebraska beat Ohio State this week, and Wisconsin win their game, then it'll help our cause a little more because we beat Wisconsin. You know, Wisconsin beat Nebraska. Nebraska turned around and beat number 6 Ohio State. You know, that'll be a big deal. But the fact that Texas A&M, and this is what we were talking about a couple weeks ago, when Texas A&M jumped Washington, I was just like, that goes to show how it's still, see, we went from the just the straight BCS ranking to college football BCS playoffs. You see what I'm saying? So it's still BCS. It's just covered up with a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's covered up with the playoffs. And it really isn't, to me, the best teams, you know, that's in the top 4 or whatever. That's why I think within a few years or so, you're going to get 6 to 8 teams in the playoff. I think it should be an 18 playoff. Personally,
yeah, totally agree.
But yeah, it should be a straight up 8-team playoff. You have 4 teams in each bracket. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But it's just, you know, they still think that the SEC is just the straight power conference, and they just dominating everybody, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else just follows suit. You got 1 Big Ten team in there, 1 ACC team, and 2 SEC teams. You know what I'm saying? So it's like and then Bama was the one that beat Texas A&M, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes down to it, they really 4. Yeah, they. But see, my thing is right, and we'll see a matchup between them again. You know what I'm saying? It follows suit. You know what I'm saying? The playoffs happen this weekend. This is what we'll see. You know, but
yeah,
I think for certain Washington should be number 4 up there or whatever. But hey, that's the way they want to. They want to treat these playoffs, man. They just want to straight up BCS like always, and they want to control this stuff instead of letting records speak for itself. Because it's not like Washington is playing in a weak conference. They're in the power conference.
No.
Yeah, they're in the power conference. They're in the Pac-12, so they're playing quality competition. So it's not like they're playing scrubs, you know. So I just
I don't understand it, man. I knew why Michigan dropped, and it don't bother me too much. They really want to see Michigan and Alabama bad. That's like I was reading today in Bleacher Report that that's their dream matchup. That's the dream matchup that they want. They want Michigan, Alabama. What do you think are the chances we get that, Hugh?
If they keep playing the way they've both been playing, I would love to see that. I believe it is more likely than not. And I just think that that'll be good for the sport, man. I was a little disappointed, too, there at number 3, but I looked at it, too, like they played a team who was 2-5 at the time, and they played them a little too close, and the game was getting too close for measuring. That's why I think they put us down to 3. But I still feel like, man, Clemson lost, or they should have lost to North Carolina State. But like you said, if they're going to build it up for a Michigan-Alabama match, I definitely wouldn't mind that neither because I'm born and raised in Michigan, got a lot of family in Bama, man, and I would love to see that matchup. And if they stay the way that they are and keep playing and being competitive like they are, I think that matchup would be something that's more likely to happen, in which I wouldn't disagree with it. And then I like a lot of the jabs that Harbaugh was throwing at Saban, too, at the beginning of the season, kind of picking at them, too. So it'll make for interesting football.
They've been beefing since the offseason, man. Saban hasn't been liking the way Harbaugh been messing his pipeline up. Saban pretty much owns the South. Any top prospect he wants from the South, he usually gets. So now with the satellite camps and stuff that Harbaugh implemented, it's like, okay, number one guy from linebacker or whatever from Mississippi or Alabama is thinking Michigan now. You know what I'm saying? He may not want to sit behind, two All-American linebackers that Saban done recruited over the last couple of years. So, Saban been pissed off about that, heavy pissed off about it. So, we'll see. I think it's likely to. I think Michigan dropped because I don't think it was to the point where they played, where they played Michigan State 7 close. I don't think it was that factor too much. I think it came into the fact that the week before when we moved up from 3 to 2 on the Clemson's bye week or whatever, they were actually talking about moving Clemson up to number 2 and leaving us at 3. And I think it's because, like I said, they thinking that Clemson got some quality wins. They beat Louisville when they were number 4 or something. Yeah, they beat Louisville when they were number 4, and then they beat Florida State, which was ranked number 12 at the time, last Saturday. So,
damn, I hated that win.
I think it's that factor that's factoring into it. When you look at Michigan, we pretty much just beat Wisconsin. So that's what they're looking at. They're looking at the quality of our team right now. They're just looking at, we beat them, who were in front of us. The schedules are made 6-something years in advance. So it's we can't control who we play this year. You know what I'm saying? We could only beat whoever's in front of us. So, man, that's that. I just think it's PCS bullcrap, like always. instead of them, ranking. That's why I think the rankings should just come out. You know what I'm saying? And this week, week 8, week 7 or 8 or whatever, that's where you should get your full ranking. And and there should be 8 teams in the playoffs.
Because, man, how is LSU still in the top 15, man, with 5-2 record?
Right. I'm telling you, it's that the SEC is saving a lot of these things. You know how long Ole Miss got like 3 losses, and I think they're still in the top 25. So
that is just a shame, man.
I think what they need to do, man, they need to go ahead and make. Well, they're not because I don't know. They need to make a whole power like league. Make a power league, like, you know, put your top conferences, you know, the Pac-12, Big 12, Big 10, SEC, ACC. Put them all like in a league, something like the NFL, and then just have them play each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll make sense. Like, that'll make sense more than you'll get good rankings than you know, they playing cupcake schools and that. And yeah, I just think it'll make a lot more sense if they did it like that. What you think about that, Hugh?
I agree, man, because we see them play so many cupcake teams, man. Like week 2, when they supposed to be playing more competitive teams, you might get some good matchups in week 1, and you might get a sprinkle up in week 2 as far as guys that are in the top rankings. But a lot of times you will have like a Bama against Kent State, or you know, you have like Ohio State against Troy or Miami of Ohio and crap like that, man. We need more heavy-hitting teams playing each other early, man, who can basically, like, so for having every once so often Michigan play like Bama, you know, every other year would be great to have these teams play each other and, like, mix it up. Have some of them SEC teams playing Big Ten and Pac, you know, playing ACC, you know, just basically mix it up some, man, rather than having the same teams playing each other over and over again. You know, I definitely feel like if they could do that, just like make it league like NFL, I think that'll make things change, and then it'll make it a little different, too, except for having such biasness, because it's too much bias when it comes to the SEC, man, because you got 2 teams that are in the top 4, man. Come on.
Right. It really makes no
Washington's
sense.
nowhere in. And Washington's on the outside looking in at the 5th spot when they definitely didn't lose any games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. They should definitely be in that top 4. Like it shouldn't even been discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that those are the top 4 teams right now. Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, and Washington are the top 4 teams, man. And it's just, like I said, it's right now it's politics. It's 100% politics to me. And I'm just, you know, it's starting to get old. You know what I'm saying? Like, the more and more they do this, the more and more people are going to get pissed off and ask for a 6 or 18 playoff. Like, they just bringing it on themselves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I know what the BCS is standing for right now, James, and that's bullcrap sincerely. Because a lot of the stuff they're doing is not even appreciated, man. And it's disrespectful. It's a slap in the face to us when we see these rankings, man, and we see these schools and we see undefeated teams, but then we see teams like you said in the SEC. We talked about that a few weeks ago. That, like, be in that situation or in a conversation of a playoff with an L on their record when it's an undefeated Washington.
Right.
They have to be better and fast.
Exactly. Yeah, man. But I did have another point. I wanted to talk about the college football. They were talking about the Big Ten having Friday games. Games on Friday, like prime time. What? Michigan said no. How
How do you feel about that, man? Like the Friday primetime games. I think it's almost in the lines of what the NFL got going on Thursday. I talked about that last week. Like, I hate those Thursday games. I can't stand them.
Yeah.
What do you feel about Friday Big Ten games, prime time?
I wouldn't like that, man. I keep my eyes tuned to the Thursday games, like we talked about before, how bad the NFL is, man. And we actually watched the Hokies play in that Thursday game last week, and nobody want to see that, man. And, I just feel like the NFL doing that, man, and I don't even think they usually have the best teams, and the games don't really be that competitive. So
right.
I definitely feel like them doing the Friday game in prime time would be a slap in our face, because we're so used to the tradition of having it on Saturday. And I feel like they shouldn't change that slot, because that Friday primetime game is like people be at work, people have things to do. Some people have weekends off, but they have Saturdays and Sundays, man, and won't be able to attend or even watch those games. So I think it's more anticipated to have it on Saturdays, man. It kind of mesh with more people's schedules, but I just don't even think that I'd be comfortable watching it. Definitely after a long day of work, getting off of work around like 6 or 7 o'clock, and then the game on at 8. Man, I'll probably take a shower, eat some food, man, and I definitely won't be considering watching that game. So, yeah, I don't think that'd be a good idea. I think they need to scratch that. I'm happy that, Michigan said no automatically and got that crap out the way before they even had that as a consideration.
Yeah, because it's stupid, man. Why? I'm not understanding why they trying to go away from tradition. Like, I could understand if it was something wrong. Like, if it was like, the viewership went down on Saturdays and stuff like that, so you gotta like mix it up or whatever. Like, I don't know, unless they're working and can't do it. I don't know a soul that doesn't watch a football fan that doesn't watch Sunday NFL on Sundays. I don't know. I don't know who does it. I mean, who doesn't do it. And then on Saturdays, I don't know a college football fan that don't watch college football. I'll be at work and I still watch it. So, Friday, nobody ain't trying to, like you said, Hugh, come home. Oh, I gotta watch this football game on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Some people work weekends. So, right. So some people work weekends. So why would I bust my butt to watch a game on Friday when, Saturday is my college football day? It's stupid. The viewership is going to go down. Well, you ain't going to really get it like that. You know what I'm saying? Thursday, like I said, opening week, I should say, of the NFL season, that's cool. If you want to do, your Thursday game, your Thursday doubleheader or whatever, that's fine, because football season is back in, whatever. But, dude, every week, no, unless it's the opening week or Thanksgiving, I don't want to see football really on Thursdays.
Not really.
For what? But
and the games don't even be interesting, most of them.
At all, man. You saw the butt whooping last week. Like, it was just, whatever. I don't even want to talk about it no more. Okay. I want to get into the NBA.
Okay.
NBA. The only question I have really right now is, we've been in the NBA season for a week. So, with the NBA season being a week old right now, who do you think are the best teams so far? Like, what team stand out to you right now?
What surprised me this year, as far as one of the best teams, is Chicago, man. And I didn't think they were going to mesh with Butler and, you know, Rondo and D-Wade, but for them to be playing right now and undefeated, that surprised me. And that's one of the teams I had under my radar, and I'm interested in watching them play tonight. They playing the Celtics in a couple minutes, so that's what I'm definitely looking forward to right now. But that's one of the teams that came out a surprise to me because I didn't think they were going to be that good because I felt like they lost a little bit when they didn't have Paul Gasol. So I said, well, I'm just not really interested in what they're going to do right now. And now I look at them and I'm like, man, this team haven't missed a beat. That was one of the sleeper teams for me right now.
Well, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to give my thoughts. We're going to take a quick break right quick. You know, me and Hugh can get something to drink or stretch or whatever we need to do. And I'm going to come back and get my thoughts, and we're going to finish up with the NBA and then finish off with the NFL. So about to take a break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Witness the Black Tie experience. Black Tie Photography, servicing all of Metro Atlanta area. My name is Cedric Pitts, your photographer. Check out our website at www.blacktiepictures.com or like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Black Tie Pictures. Let me capture your professionalism in class, and you will have the ultimate black tie experience.
Yo, it's your boy, the Hood Howard Stern, Q Lewis, producer of the Live Cloud radio show on the planet, straight from the E-Block Radio. Here to let you know that you can represent the radio show and your side of town with our very own t-shirt line, Pardon My East Side. You can get yours.
Wow, Hood Howard Stern, what's up with Pardon My West Side?
Oh, slow down, Miss Coco J. Of course, we got the West Side covered too, so you can get Pardon My East Side or Pardon My West Side t-shirts. Only thing you got to do is go to the website, www.eblockradio.com, and get yours today. $20 for the fellas, $15 for the ladies. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram as well, Pardon My Eastside.
Are you ready to dance, sweat, and have some fun? Well, don't talk about it, let's do about it. Please join myself, Coco J, and you on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5:45 to 6:45, then on Saturday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The location is at 16915 Livernois Avenue, Detroit, Michigan. For more information, please reach me at 313-459-1747, or you may reach me at my website at NicoleJackson.zumba.com. I'll see y'all there. Let's dance into fiction.
Yo, what's up? We're back. And Hugh, you with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I didn't hear you on the thing. Well, before we went to break, if you guys are just joining us, before we went to break, we were talking about the young NBA season, and we were talking about who's the Hugh, you getting that? Oh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was hearing some noise. But we were talking about who are the best teams so far in the NBA. You know, I mean, it's a week old, so we're just, saying who looks good so far. I would have to say the Bulls, too. They kind of surprised me. They look the best right now. They look like they just naturally gelling with each other. I was watching Golden State yesterday. It was my second game watching them. And they still look like they need to gel a little bit more. Kevin Durant is kind of finding his way in the offense a little better. And their offense looks kind of different now with him. It flows better, but it's just it's like he still has to like find his way in an organized type situation. He still looks it looks foreign to him at times. But they still look good though. They still look good. They kind of broke out of a little bit of a shell yesterday when they played Portland, and they whooped Portland butt by about 20 points. But Chicago looked good. The Clippers, I haven't seen the Clippers play yet, but I know they undefeated. But as far as the teams I've seen, Cleveland actually looking real good.
They definitely look like they still in championship mode, man. Like nothing ever changed, and they still got the right pieces to the puzzle. So they definitely gonna be one of the teams that you have in conversation.
Oh yeah, they gonna be one of the teams to beat, man, for sure. They looking like they're gonna be in the finals already, and we already talked about that by opening night, man. We was like it's gonna be Cleveland in the East again because we don't see nobody in the East, like dethroning them at all. Like nobody dethroning them at this point. But yeah, those teams looking the best right now. I do have a golden nugget, man. Tomorrow, OKC plays Golden State. So we know what that means.
I gotta be tuned in. The revenge.
You know what that means, man.
They don't fight.
Do you think where are they actually? Do you know? Hold on, let me text. I gotta.
You know what? Is it down in OKC? If I'm not mistaken.
I think it's in OKC too, but I want to make sure.
Okay.
No, they're in Golden State.
Okay. So it ain't gonna be bad then. But when he go back home, that's the one I really want to see when he go back to OKC.
Yeah. You think they're gonna boo him?
I know they're gonna boo him, man, because I feel like they looked at it like not only did he leave the team, but he's sleeping with the enemy. That was the team that cost them the opportunity to go back to another finals. And I just feel like them saying, okay, well, not only did we lose to this team, but you join them. Yeah, that's definitely like sleeping with the enemy, and I don't think they're going to take that too well.
Right. I don't either, but I think Golden State fans are so petty that they're going to end up booing Russell Westbrook tomorrow. Like Russell Westbrook played for Golden State and left or something. I think they're going to get how they had a petty hat soul and just boo him just because, man. But I think it's gonna be an intense game. I think the game gonna be kind of intense, man. Because even though, KD switched teams and went over to Golden State or whatever from OKC, these two teams met in the Western Conference Finals last year. So I think they still gonna be kind of, in that mode, and because it's early in the season, they ain't played that long ago. So I think the game gonna be kind of intense, and then it's gonna add fuel to the fire because KD left, and but like you said, it's really gonna be on when KD go back to OKC.
Oh yeah. Because they looking forward to him coming back, because they feel like when he left them, it looked like a question mark. So, yeah, it's pretty good to see that competition, too, because my man's going to be fired up. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think OKC lost the game yet, neither. I think they're 3-0 right now.
Yeah,
so it's like they're still doing good without him. But it's like, how long is that going to be, though? I know now they feel like they got a true leader now. ever since KD's gone, but I just feel like it's going to be mixed emotions when he come back. You might get some people cheer, but you're going to get a lot of people who boo him.
Yeah, oh, heck yeah. You already know it, man. They're not going to preach because they wanted him to stay. You know what I'm saying? Because
kind of like he sold them out.
And that's why I fully think, see, people don't really examine it like that. That's the reason why I don't fully think it was just straight basketball or just straight away, just a decision to trade teams like that, that KD switched. I think it was a matter of, area, just change the scenery. I think he wanted to change. And because OKC still has a good team over there. They added Oladipo over there, and they drafted Sabonis' son, and they still got Steven Adams, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like they got better. You know what I'm saying? So they weren't far from a championship at all. So you got to look at it like, hey, you know what I'm saying? He left for other reasons other than that. And probably because he wanted to actually expand his game a little bit more, I think. I think he wanted to play with better players. Not saying, we all know Russell Westbrook is one of the best players in the world. But I'm talking about as far as just system-wise. I think KD wanted to be in the system. That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I fully think, man. And I think it was just, how Russell is, man. He reminds you of a Allen Iverson type guy. So, it's pretty much like the alpha dog one. You know what I'm saying? two dogs in the yard and see who's the alpha dog. And, Russ was like, I'm the alpha dog. This is my team or whatever. And he made that certain. So KD was like, hey, I'll just go somewhere else where I can just play in a team unit, So, yeah, but I definitely think that game's going to be watched like crazy tomorrow.
Definitely entertaining.
They come on at 10:30 too. Damn, I got to work Friday morning.
You're going to meet both, man.
Oh, man. Oh. Oh, I think you probably have to get up a little later than I do, right? I got to get up at 4:30.
Oh, yeah. So I definitely will. I get up at 8, but you best believe I'm watching that.
Oh, yeah. I might watch like the first half, whatever, and catch the rest. In the morning, I'll watch the highlights or something, but I ain't going to be able to watch the whole game. I'm going to have to get me some sleep. But, yeah, man. But this NBA is looking promising. This NBA season is looking promising so far. Like a lot of new faces and stuff like that. It looked kind of straight to see D Wade on Chicago, man. It looked like he's supposed to always been a Chicago Bull.
Pretty much. It looks like that's where he belongs.
Yeah, it does, man. And I forgot they had Rondo on the team.
Oh yeah. But then they got Lopez over there, who's a good defender, man, and who's good in the post. He's a great all-around player. Plus, they already had some of their pieces like Butler, which is going to definitely help them out because now that's his team.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But the same thing with him and D Rose almost with Westbrook and Durant. And, the Alpha Dogs won. They got their wish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, man. I want to switch gears and go into NFL, man.
Okay.
Oh man, the NFL. I love the NFL so much. They just never seem to amaze me, man. Oh, geez.
It's been a wacky season so far.
Man, who you telling? I was watching ESPN today, and when you get deep into the season like this, well, we're midway, right? It's just a midway point, kind of like 7-8 games for the season. Just like midway. Right. So, with that, we always got to have that talk that, who do you see in the Super Bowl? Who this, that, whatever. So I saw something on ESPN. They were talking about it. Actually, it was First Take. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith if you ever come across this or whatever. I like that little contest they're doing. I might end up doing it, man. I'm debating whether I do it, whether you want to debate with them on live TV or whatever. I don't think Stephen A. ready for me. But but yeah, man, they were talking about the potential Super Bowl matchup because they came out with the NFL power rankings, and the Patriots are number 1, and the Cowboys were number 2. So they were saying is that the matchup that we will see in the Super Bowl. So my question, Hugh, is if we see that matchup, do you think it will be a good matchup, or do you think the Patriots just wipe the floor with them?
I think it'll be a good matchup because of the fact that what surprised me this year's their defense. The Cowboys' defense is not bad, and plus with the leader Sean Lee on the team, man, he's healthy. That's one other big thing. He's there playing and he's healthy. Because whenever he has situations where he's hurt or wherever he's out, that's when the problem comes. It seems like their defense becomes a liability. But we just saw New England get rid of one of their best defenders in their linebacker, Jamie Collins, which shocked the hell out of me, and I think a lot of other people who are New England Patriots fans, that they dropped this guy. I heard a lot of, rumors and ramblings that he was asking for Von Miller-ish type money, and that's when they hauled him off to an 0-18 from a contender. So, yeah, that kind of made me say, okay, well, what they're going to do in that position. I forgot they got Barkevious Mingo and Elandon Roberts there who can take that load. It's not just one person as far as their defense, but the difference is, the Dak Prescott, I feel like he's playing lights out ball right now, but I've seen him make mistakes last week, when they just played just recently. And I think in that stage, you got to be hands-on and you got to, be damn near picture perfect. You might make mistakes, but you got to capitalize, but you got to play almost picture perfect in the Super Bowl because too many mess-ups will make the game get nasty. And I just think Tom Brady and his 6 appearances will be something to watch out for. But I don't think Dak Prescott will be intimidated at all just to come in and play the way that he's been playing. But I would love to see that matchup. I think New England, if they did play, it'll probably be a close one, but I still think New England will be like a 6-point favor or 6.5-point favor.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't think Dallas ready for New England. The way New England's defense is playing right now, and Tom Brady was suspended the first 4 games of the season, and he come in and just ain't showed no rust, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like he just, dude, his first, what did they say? His first 4 games or so, man, he done threw like 12 touchdowns, no picks. Like he playing out of his mind right now. And I just think going up against a Dallas team, and that Dallas team is pretty young. They're not as seasoned as the Patriots team is. And I just think, man, the Patriots would just be too much for them right now. And I just think it's too close to call. But the Dallas Cowboys are the favorites right now because you look at the not the Eastern Conference, I'm on basketball. If you look at the NFC right now, there's no clear-cut favorite really, but Dallas. Like you look at Dallas, like, okay, they playing the best right now. But under them, the Cardinals struggling right now. Seattle is there. But you know what I'm saying? New York ain't really nothing this year. Washington ain't nothing. The Packers struggling. The Eagles are there, but they're kind of a young team. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect for the Eagles to pop up in the Super Bowl or nothing. But
yeah, they got growing pains.
Yeah. Other than that, you look at Dallas and you're like, man, Dallas could really probably do something, especially with Dak, the way he's playing and stuff like that. And the Vikings, who look promising with that 5-0 starter, man, they're gonna drop 2 straight, and North Turner just left. So it's like
out of nowhere. What happened with that?
yeah, I don't know either, man. My guess was he and the head coach got into it. I think they probably got into it because we all know North Turner is stubborn. He just stubborn as all get out. And I forget I keep wanting to say Mike Tice, but they ain't the coach no more. But what's his name?
Mike Zimmerman came from Cincinnati as their defensive coordinator.
Exactly. Yeah, he seemed like a stubborn dude too, a straight to the point guy. So my thing is they got into it about whatever, and the Vikings offense hasn't been looking good though lately. So it's like, they just said, hey, North Turner was probably like, man, I'm getting too old for this shit. And he probably just walked away from it. Get this man out of here, bro. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, that was odd behavior, how he just vanished like that, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, it's like I said, it's a toss-up, man, to me in the NFC. The AFC is, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Patriots, Steelers, they going to be duking it
Broncos.
out. Yeah, Broncos.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Just like the main teams that we normally see.
Mm-hmm. Them going to be the main ones that's duking it out for the AFC, but I just don't see nobody beating the Patriots, man. They just look too good, man. They look too good right now. The Patriots, when they look good, they just good. You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna fall off or whatever, man. If they good, they good. Yeah,
I agree.
But
to get hot at the right time too. Those teams will be like very unexpected. Sometimes those will be the teams who can just rally and win a Super Bowl, But at this point, it's like, man, I still feel like it's a really close race in the AFC, when it comes to the AFC West, They got a lot of stuff to deal with. Right now, I think New England is pulling away with their division right now with the East because after beating Buffalo, they had a number pretty bad beating recently. And now I think they're 1-4 in their division or something of that nature. I got to check, but I know they were getting duped up. They were pretty bad. They didn't beat none of the teams in their division until they beat New England. And they're 1-3 now in their division. So, yeah, it's a lot of leeway for them. They got to cover ground. But, yeah, it's like most of the race is going to be like you said, like the Steelers. It seems like they're going to come out their division. You got Denver, Kansas City fighting for supremacy, and then the Oakland Raiders, which actually I think they lead the division right now.
They surprised me, yeah, man. They surprised me.
Man, that team, man, just really came out of nowhere. Like last year, they really started to show what they was about. And then now it's like, man, they're a force to be reckoned with. They got a lot of good veterans on their team and then some of their homegrown players, which I think that their defense sometimes gets shaky, but if their defense on any given day is a nightmare to any team. Mm-hmm. When you got Bruce Irvin and Khalil Mack, and Sean Smith is one of the cornerbacks too. It's like, man, they solidified themselves, man. Big up to Jack Del Rio for going over there and changing that team and this whole dynamic, man. He made them relevant really fast too.
Right. He did, man. He really did. I'm liking this Oakland team, man. They on a five game winning streak on the road.
Oh yeah, that's not easy to do.
Yeah, the games they lost has been at home. So I'm like, whoa, you know. But the NFL season is very interesting right now. I'm digging it. I'm digging the teams that are kind of coming out of nowhere and stuff like that, man. So, I just I'm looking forward to some more, man. After this first half of the season, I hope the Lions end up getting it together.
Me and you both. They got the potential, man. I was just surprised at how they barely played this last game, and I thought it was against a Texan team that they could surprise. But then Texas, I know, are pretty good at home, but just really was surprised in the way we played and executed, because it's like some games, if we can go back and change the hand of time, I think they should have beat Tennessee, and I definitely thought that they could have beat, or they should have beat Chicago, which would surprise everybody. You can't underestimate them, man. They're like one of them wounded, alligators just backed off in the corner, and then, you underestimate them and you take them lightly, then they strike and attack. They hit a jugular thing, like with Minnesota, man. If you told me that they were going to beat Minnesota, I'd have laughed in your face. But, yeah, man, they kind of roughhoused those guys, man. And Cutler had a good game. They were coming after Bradford, man. Sam Bradford was under the rest the whole game, and it was like every time I seen him, he was on his back, which it's like you can't underestimate teams, man. But I still feel like we should have beat them as well. But yeah, you never know, man. On any given Sunday, man, you'll be in for a surprise, man, because a lot of games when you think it's gonna go one way, man, it could take a full turn. Just the momentum switch, man. Sometimes you could take a fight out of a team, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's it. It looked like we covered everything, Hugh. But now,
okay.
you got anything, man?
Nah, man, not really, man. I feel like that was pretty good from the whole thing about the baseball World Series and all. I think I covered everything I had.
Yeah, all right. Well, I covered everything I had too, man. I'm gonna let everybody enjoy this NBA game that's on in the World Series. It's Game 7, man. I'm sitting here looking at it right now. It's Game 7, so might as well watch it and see what's up with it. But man, I like to thank everybody for listening. I'd like to give a shout out to Jameis again for coming in with the baseball talk. I really appreciate that. And Hugh and I will be back with you guys next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern sharp for another episode of Beyond the Bleachers. So on behalf of Hugh and myself, we out of here, man. Y'all have a good rest of the week and good weekend. See y'all next week.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Peace.
All right, you too, bro.